So one of the things that I think that people put too much pressure on a relationship is agreement. I think that is something that is a norm we should push against. That we don't always have to agree, but there is a way to get along without always having to agree, and that's what I want us to talk about today.
Well, I don't agree with you.
Can you get along with me even though you don't agree?
I can.
And that's what we're talking about. Welcome back to the living room.
Welcome back.
Hey, this is where we're having real conversations that are for any space that you live in. And, you know, I think this is episode 17. Can you believe it?
You're great at keeping track. Yeah. I just show up. I have no clue.
Well, you're the talent. I'm the editor, right? I edit. You're just the talent.
But you're just good at remembering statistics, numbers, things like that.
Yeah, I'm the metrics guy. I'm the numbers guy, right?
You're really good. I'm always like forgetting, like even our anniversary, like how many years?
Wow.
No, but you remind me. And so I'm so grateful for you.
Wow. Wow. I'm shook.
Oh my God.
I'm teasing. It's not that big a deal.
Nah.
It's really not that big a deal.
After 45 years together, you know.
27. 27 years. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
It's 27 years. Yeah.
Married 20. It's going to be 21.
Married 21. It's going to be 22.
Dang.
Wild, right? You're a senora, girl.
I don't know what you're
senora,
talking about.
That's
anyway, I'm a young adult.
You are a young adult.
21.
You are a young adult. You are a young adult. You are.
Yes.
You are. I'll take it. No, but I think I really do. I think that there's way too much pressure put on. We always have to agree. Always have to agree, and I think that's just kind of like a urban myth, like old wives' tale, not realistic thing. I think after having done life with each other, and we've done a life, girl, like a life. I really do think that the point is not agreement. Would you agree?
I would agree, actually. When we first got married, I loved that you agreed with me all the time.
Yeah, because I didn't know better.
Exactly.
Is what it was. I didn't know better.
And it was just easy. Like there was no issues. There was no problems. You just agreed. And I honestly, I don't think that's good. It was good because it was like, quote unquote, no confrontation until there became confrontation.
Sure.
Because you were like, no, you know what? I'm actually going to say what I really think, which is what I want and which is what you should want for your partner, friend, whatever relationship you're in.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I feel like we're gonna say agree a lot. I agree. Like, let's try not to do that. Okay.
Well, we'll see.
Let's just make it like a mental
blanket statement.
A mental exercise to not to do that. But yeah, I think with that, the urge is to not have friction and not have static. But there's you can't get forward momentum without friction. You can't get forward momentum without some sort of intense interaction, right? And intense interaction doesn't always necessitate having to fight. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there's friction and tension in getting understanding. Mm-hmm. And so, so I think the statement is we don't have to agree to get along. Right. And I do know this, like we've gotten along, right? And we've gone further along and we've lived life alongside each other, even in disagreeable moments. And I think there's a big difference between disagreement and disrespectful.
Oh,
right.
Definitely.
And so I think we just kind of like pepper it because one of the things, and I'm sure you guys can tell, we don't really script our conversations. We draw from our well and from our lives. And so there's not really like a list of handles in any specific order, just kind of like how it occurs to us, right? But I'm thinking with you right now, I really do think that it becomes too linear for us in a relationship. I think it becomes too either this or that, right? Yeah. Either or. So either we agree or we fight. And I think if you're not careful in the context of your relationships, if the standard is always agreement, then there's going to be this either conscious or subconscious desire to be right.
Yes.
To get the other person to agree with me.
Yeah.
Or
And that is a fight that usually
Absolutely.
comes with, like, again, winning and losing. So somebody's got to lose.
Right.
And I think in any type of relationship, when you're trying to always win and make sure that somebody loses, it belittles the other person, or it's
Yeah.
going to belittle you. And then again, you're going to shut down and not going to want to have these type of conversations if that's what you think the outcome is.
Yeah, I think one of the ways that you and I have learned it to get along is that we've learned it to define what a win is.
Yeah.
Right. So for you and I, a win isn't I'm right, you're wrong anymore. Now, are there moments where you're right and I'm wrong? Often. Are there moments where I'm right and you're wrong? Often. And
Often less. No, just kidding.
And I don't think that, again, it's not exclusively one or the other, right? There are some moments where it's like, you know what, yeah, I agree with you. That you're right. Let's do that. But there are some moments where there is disagreement, and the win isn't, well, I need to fight my case, right? Like where we become like opposing prosecutors, opposing, representatives of our case with each other. One of the things that you and I really believe we've learned to do well over the last several years is we've learned to define the win in this engagement. And I'll say it this way. Our win is getting an understanding, right? I think we've really gotten good at getting along with each other because we choose to win by getting an understanding.
Yeah, I think you've taught me that really well. I'm not, I don't think I grew up like asking a lot of questions. And you've taught me that, like, hey, well, it's biblical. Before getting mad, before getting angry, before getting out of hand, get an understanding.
Yeah, Proverbs
right?
4:7. Wisdom
Yes.
is the principal thing, right? So the point is wisdom,
Right.
right? And I think that I love this. Great point. As you're thinking about this, fam, think about this. Wisdom is the ability. Okay, so wisdom is not an innate or intrinsic talent that some people are born and some people are born without.
Right.
It's an ability you develop,
Yeah.
right? And so wisdom is the ability to live out the right thing, right? And in that you develop the ability to gather the right information so that you can have the proper insight and the proper understanding to live the right thing. So if wisdom is living the right thing, understanding and getting an understanding is creating the directions on how to apply understanding so that it becomes wisdom. Does that make sense, right?
That's good.
And so I think for you and I, we've applied that. We've learned to really embrace that in all our getting. So that's what Proverbs 4:7, right, says. Wisdom is the principal thing. That's the point. We want to have a life of wisdom. And in all of your getting, get an understanding. And
so,
that's why you're saying, right? Before you get and fill in the blank, before you get all
you
that.
get angry, before you blow off the handle, before you think you're right.
Sure.
Before
you get your way.
Yeah.
Type thing. Yeah.
Is ask questions as to why the other person thinks their way, or like, why did they think they're right? And that's not a lot. That comes with humility, and that comes with, like, you know what? Let me respect you enough to get your input on as to why you think you're right.
Yeah.
And that does come with humility and love. And it's something that you taught me. Hey, before you get crazy, get an understanding. And how do you get an understanding? You ask questions.
Sure.
So don't assume that you already know. Ask the questions, even though you think you may know, because in the asking, you realize, oh, shoot, I didn't think that that's what he was thinking, or that's what she was thinking.
Yeah.
And it's really helped me not to agree with you, but to align with you.
I love that you said that.
There's a lot of times that I'm still not going to agree with your decision. But am I gonna submit and align? Yes, I will. Why? Because I trust you, and I'm humble enough to say, you know what? I'm gonna let him do it his way. Let's see what happens. And if not, I can come back and say, I told you. No, just kidding.
Well, no, yeah, and you can, right? But 9 times out of 10, you come back and you say, oh, wow, I didn't see the big picture.
Yeah, I had no clue. I did not see that perspective.
Right.
And I think that's a huge win in our relationship, that that I've allowed myself to be teachable by you and be like, hey, let me give you another perspective.
Yeah. in that you said something really, really key, right? Where it is possible. It's possible to agree and not align, and it's also possible to disagree and align, right? And so, like, I know those are obvious statements, right? But there's this thing that happens when it's just about agreement or disagreement, when it's just those binary choices.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of room to maneuver intuition, to maneuver curiosity, to maneuver perspective or experience, or even my contribution to decision making. And I think that's where a lot of relationships, whether they're marriage relationships, friendships, social, professional, I think that when it's just about, hey, you gotta agree with me, my way, the highway type thing, it really removes the opportunity for new.
Yeah.
Right. And I really appreciate how you and I have been able to respect each other and honor each other's points of view, honor each other's dispositions, because you view things very differently than I do, and I view things very differently than you do.
And that took time. Like, this has taken time. Like, if you're in your first year of marriage and you're still like, man, we need to be where they are. Like, this has taken us years of practice.
Yeah, for sure.
And real fights and disagreements.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you can take this though and apply it, you can take some quantum leaps and get further faster than we did, and it really impacts every aspect of your relational life. But my point is this: if it's just agree, disagree, then we never allow for any type of innovation or invention to emerge. What I mean by that is, when it's agree or disagree, what we're doing is we're giving ultimatums in its truest form, like, or in its most simple form. If you really break it down, it's like either yes or no. And I think that ultimatums are not good fuel for relational equity. They're not good fuel for confidence building. Yeah. It's not good fuel for getting to learn intimacy.
Yeah.
And I think
that's a good point. Getting to learn intimacy, because with decision making comes intimacy.
Absolutely.
Because that's where it's like, okay, I'm going to lean on you and you're going to lean on me. Can I trust him to make the right decision? Can I even trust him to consider me in decision making?
Sure.
So I think you really don't know the real person until you've gotten to like that type of intimacy.
Right. And if you look at, so let's take the snapshot of a married couple. You can see their level of intimacy based on the decision making, right? I try to seek your counsel. When we were younger, I was very impulsive. I will brag on myself. Like, I feel like I've gotten some maturity to me.
You definitely have.
Thank you for affirming it.
It's almost shocking and impressive now, because you really do come to me, hey, what do you think about this? So much more often now than you have ever in your whole life. And sometimes I'm still like, oh, okay, cool. It still surprises me sometimes.
Sure, it's for multiple reasons. Number one, you're brilliant, right? And you're consistent, right? And so your good sense, for the most part, your intuition and your discernment really is valuable, right? So I want to invite that into my decision making, because there are things that I make decisions that don't really impact our family and don't impact you necessarily, but they impact me directly. So I invite that. The scripture in the book of wisdom, the book of Proverbs, says that there's wisdom and there's safety in a community of counsel, right? Getting really good counsel. And I think that's a really good point to really just kind of put my finger on. When we were younger, we were driven by opinion. Our own opinions.
And your own experience.
Oh, for sure. And we were limited by our own short-sightedness. And we were driven by the opinion of people around us, right? And it was like, we would always get the opinion of people who, when we were younger, we would get opinions of people who never lived in the places we were trying to go. Right. And there's a difference between opinion and counsel. Opinion is someone just thinking or giving theory, I think is another way to synonymously say opinion. Counsel is someone who's speaking from experience and they've walked it, they've lived it. That. They have the equity and the
scars to show you.
Yeah, for sure.
Or the goods.
No, yeah. Proverbs chapter 8, I'm feeling very biblical today, but Proverbs chapter 8 says this: if you're naive, you should pursue prudence and astute common sense. And when I read that in Proverbs 8, it tells me that there are people around me that the things in my life right now that feel complex because of their experience, it's become common sense to them. And so I invite their counsel into my complexity, and they because of their experience, because of their longevity, maturity, etc.
I love that.
They're able to apply common sense.
Yeah, I think now that we're a little older and we're able to counsel younger people, to us, so many things that they bring to us is like so common sense, and it's so easy, like it's so obvious,
and we look like geniuses to them, right? They're like, "Oh my God, you're," and it's like, "Nah, I'm just older."
Exactly, which is a cool feeling to be at. Finally,
for sure, I'm grown and sexy. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, so my whole point with that is that seeking agreement is a way to make decisions, but it's a very limited way. Right. And the truth is this, that the truth is you can bully and force someone to disagree with you. And just because you got agreement doesn't mean you're getting along and doesn't mean you have alignment.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean it's the best way either, that you could have gotten to whatever solution it was. But because you're, like you said, a bully, you have no humility to get insight from anybody else, your partner, your friend, whatever.
And people will say this, someone who's a bully or belligerent and just forces and drags people into their way of doing things, they'll feel like they're like a strong leader or whatever. And really what it is people just like, man, I'm just gonna say yes so she'll shut up.
Right.
I'm just saying yes so he'll stop talking. Like, yeah, whatever. And on the inside of them, they're just, there was a woman of God that used to say it this way in our lives, right? A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still.
Yeah.
Right. And so even if I'm convinced against my will, internally, I'm not aligned with you.
Right.
Right. And eventually what happens is that misalignment shows up.
Yeah.
And that misalignment really just proves we never got along.
Yeah.
I chose to agree with you and I just, I
went along for the sake of peace.
But I wasn't getting along with you. Right. And for the sake of peace, for the sake of quiet. There's this thought that I have in my head, right? I remember a couple years ago, I was taking a couple of neurocognition classes, and one of them included human communication and interpersonal dynamics. It sounds super fancy, right? But it was the power of dialogue, right? And how dialogue is different than conversation, and it's different than just straight monologue, right? And so sometimes we think we're aligning and we're having communication, but it really is just a monologue. All I'm doing is talking, not asking you for perspective, not inviting your point of view, and all it is I have an audience of one or whatever, and it doesn't create anything worthwhile. Yeah. And one of the things that I took away from that, there's a lot I learned when I took that class on dialogue. But one of the things that like always impacts me is, and this is why I ask a lot of questions now, is dialogue is too different. You can call it opposing, right? And opposing isn't always bad, right? It's just we're on two opposite sides of the same spectrum, two different sides of the coin. And if we're able to align well with each other, we can have a more complete view of the whole thing, right? Because we can fight, like, so if you think of a quarter, right? So I go, no, on my side, there's an eagle. Well, no, on my side, it's George Washington's head. Well, you're wrong, I'm right. Well, no, we don't realize that we're looking at two different sides of one complete thing, right? And so what dialogue does in very short, simple statement is it brings two opposing perspectives and it creates something new.
Yeah, so good.
Right. And so I think for me, one of the things that whenever I'm having conversations with people and I'm having interactions with people, I'm trying to walk away with something new, a new point of view, a new perspective, maybe just a new understanding on how you think and how you process. There's often times where you and I are just are dialoguing and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that was important to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
I think that's cool because you can only have dialogue when you have a humble heart and you have a curious spirit.
That's very good.
Other than that, you don't care about anybody else's opinion. Right. It could be maybe a boss that gets, that boss pays you. Why are you going to argue with the boss? I'm like, forget it. I'm just here for the paycheck, know? But where it's really detrimental is in a relationship because you can leave. And then the person thinks that they're like, oh, all of a sudden they look up. It's like, but you've always agreed with me. Yeah, I've agreed with you, but you've bullied me into this.
Or it's like, no, I didn't. You just weren't listening.
That too.
I think I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, he has no clue.
Yeah.
Or she has no clue. She just never listened to me.
Yeah.
Or never. She was just completely oblivious. And that's what happens. I think what happened in those instances is we just live in this echo chamber. We live in this vacuum and we can't see past ourselves, can't see past our own opinion, our own desires, our own impulses. Yeah, it's kind of sucky, man, to be honest with you, to live that way.
Yeah, I think when we've gotten into disagreements before, again, we get angrier before we get heated. I've always not always, but lately, I just do like a small pause and I'm like, okay, Lord, help me be curious in this situation. And not jump and think that how I think is the right way.
Sure.
So always giving yourself some room to like bring yourself back down before jumping or lunging at the other person.
Yeah, I think you made a couple really strong statements, right? Like, so if you guys are taking notes or just as you're learning this, I think that's a great handle, right? We don't always have to agree, but we can get along, right? I don't have to agree with you, but I can align with you, right? And curiosity requires, you said, or dialogue requires a humble heart and a curious spirit.
Yeah.
Right?
I think when you have a humble heart and curious spirit, right away your tone also changes because when it comes to any type of conversations, tone is everything. So you can be curious and yell at me and it's still not going to be good.
Do I do that?
You're better. You just say you're passionate. So I'm trying still to understand that. But I think most people, once you decide to be curious and allow yourself to walk in humility, your tone also changes. Okay, help me understand what you're thinking.
That's
instead
good.
of being aggressive about what you're thinking.
Yeah. I love the point you made about making room. Right, making room and leaving room for discovery, and leaving room for curiosity. I think I've gotten much better at asking the question of like, "Hey, help me understand, though." Like before, it was like, "What are you thinking?"
Yeah, and
right?
It was that face,
I know.
and that face just
God.
Shut me down.
I
was done.
It's because I have this thing where I don't know that I'm making faces.
I know.
Like, I
wish
don't know.
Could just hold a mirror.
No,
I'm like, oh.
There are times where even my friends or people that I work with, we work in the same environment. Like sometimes I'm like, man, I'm gonna ask you to wear body cams because I just want to see footage of what I look like, because now I'm aware that I make faces. Like I am aware of it. Like I'm aware that I don't do it on purpose, but I'm just like, what are you talking about? And it's, I just need to be careful. Cause 9 times out of 10, I'm not irate or I'm not annoyed or whatever. I just talk with my face.
So that's something I've had to learn about you and not take it personally.
Yeah. But I got to fix my face though, because Jesus said it this way. He said that your countenance, which is your face, is the window to your soul. Right. So what's happening in my soul, in my emotions, in my thinking, my decision making, I wear on my face. So I got to fix my face. I got to let my face correctly communicate what my soul is processing. I think that's a big deal, man. But
that is good.
But yeah, lately I've been more aware of my face, and I need to be careful because my mouth will say one thing, my face will say another.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And what's crazy is that
I'm like, what do I believe? Your mouth or your
dude,
face?
no, seriously, like even with our girls, right? Like, like the girls see my face before they hear my words, right? And I'm sure, people on my staff and just teammates and stuff, it's the same thing with them. Like I'll say certain words, but they're like, nah, bro, but I saw your face. So I just gotta be, I agree. I gotta be, look at me, I'm receiving correction. I'm correcting myself. Look at that, right? Like that's beautiful. It's a sign of growth and maturity. I love it. No, but I really am kind of just, I'm kind of moved and I'm kind of just really just impacted by the thought of have a humble heart and a curious spirit. Man, I think your relationships will go so far if you can live with that.
Yeah.
Have a humble heart. Have the humility to be aware of your greatness, but steward it with gentleness, right? You're great, but be gentle and have the humility to affirm and recognize the greatness that's sitting of the people that's sitting across from you.
Yeah.
I think that'll go a long way. And, I think it becomes easier and more simple to align and to get along, even if I don't agree.
Exactly. Because now I feel seen, I feel heard, and I feel respected.
Sure.
So I'm going to bring it down and say, okay, let's do it your way. Let's see how it works.
I like it. I like that a lot. We don't have to always agree, but we can always align and get along. And that's a good word in the living room today. Yeah. That's a really good word, man. I think that's a great conversation. That helped me today. For real. That helped me a lot. I'm going to fix my face, girl. Look,
good.
I got my happy face on. Look at that.
We're all grateful. Love you.
I got my happy face. Hey, listen, thanks for tuning in today. We're so grateful to always have you in our living room. We say this, it's episode 17 and it's been growing and it's been awesome. And thank you so much for leaving comments and telling us, I love it when it's like, oh my God, me too. And oh my God, so.
We love it all.
No, for real. So listen, if you talk with your face, talk to me in the comments, man. Don't leave me out here by myself.
Yeah, maybe your heart is trained, but your face isn't yet.
Oh my gosh, I got to train my face. Yeah. Fix your face, Cruz.
So subscribe, hit us up.
Yeah, thank you, babe. I think I say it all the time, right? But it gets crazy to me. Again, I'm the numbers guy. We'll go for full circle. It's crazy to me how many people watch our channel and watch our content but don't subscribe, right? So y'all, fam, you like it, you keep coming back. You're rocking with us. Subscribe to the channel. A lot of y'all share it. You share it on your social, and man, it means the world to us. Thank you for. Thank you for that. Thank you for your support. And it's an honor. It really is. It's an honor to be in your space of life and to help you get further faster. And so, we love y'all and we'll see you next time. Peace.